Hey YouTube, I'm an extraterrestrial contactee from Portland, Oregon. I understand myself in the context of an extraterrestrial contactee, and I was just having telepathic contact with a being. I introduced themselves to me as Norami. I'll add a link in the description about a person who I was acquainted with back when she was on social media. Who Norami started reaching out to me telepathically after I contacted this person on Facebook. Who goes by the stage name Ileana Star Traveler. And even if she was involved with a simulated contact experience in the past, which I don't know, I'm pretty sure that Narami and the mantis aquatic hybrid beings she speaks of are real to other people. That they're not just like a simulated contact experience. I've written about transdimensional grid work before. Maybe I should add that link in the description also. Hang on just a second. Sorry about this. I'm gonna forget if I don't. I'm sorry about not my. Just wanted to do a weekend check-in. And basically, transdimensional grid work hoaxes are much more convincing than like the blue beam hologram hoaxes that are notoriously. Once a peaceful, healing Zeta Reticulan being contacted me and said, "This is actually why we're so controlling with the blue beam satellite." When they showed me how advanced and detailed the holograms could be, but they're still obvious holograms. With transdimensional grid work, they're not obvious holograms. So, Narami contacted me today with the Andromeda Council, and I don't know if I should make a video of the morning announcements because it seems to have disappeared off my Facebook. And it's going to be scandalous how controlled social media is. Basically, I've been contacted by the Narami beings periodically for about a year now. Maybe we should call this contact report, not morning check-ins. Are late morning check-in at early afternoon now, isn't it? And the Andromedans contacted me this morning and told me that. In the past, people in the Pentagon and contingency planners, so was I hearing that correctly? Andromedans are actually contacting me right now telepathically. And they began contacting me telepathically several years ago after I found Alex Collier's work. And I will add a link to him in the description also. And basically, I think in the past in Alex Collier's work, the mantis beings were depicted as hostile or unfriendly beings. And I respectfully disagree with Alex Collier about the topic of time travel. He didn't put this out front on his website, that no time travelers allowed. And I think critics tell people he may have sent mixed messages to them over the years where he kept going on time travel involved broadcast. And the only caution I have with Alex Collier is be careful because you might attract the attention of the Blue Moon Group. And there's like a left-hand path spiritual practice that seems involved with the Blue Moon Group that people might want to be very cautious about. You might. I don't think Alex is sitting there being like malevolent spirits go to people. It seems like it to me. My perceptual impression of psychic phenomenon has been along the lines of there's like a really malevolent spirit associated with the Blue Moon Group, and it will cause you to have like a Blue Moon Group cognitive experience. He's talked about that over the years. The NSA's alleged secret space program with the Blue Moon Group, and they don't seem so alleged to me. They seem actually real. They seem like they're part of active operations, and anybody who wants to call that a hallucination of Alex Collier's is going to just have. I mentioned the Indian Intelligence Bureau. I'm hearing the Indian Intelligence Bureau is going to roll their eyes and go, "Oh yeah, you want to say the NSA Blue Moon Group is a hallucination of Alex Collier's, and I got a bridge in China to sell you," or something like that, maybe. And so the Andromeda Council communicated to me that they're completely at peace with the Narami beings, but in the past, because of xenorelations with humans. That mantis beings, I don't know if they're depicted as a truce, and I'm sorry about timelines and Alex Collier, because I personally believe in time travel. I personally believe in multiple timelines. And I just respectfully disagree with Alex Collier that time travel doesn't exist. I go, no, I think that's a misstatement by him, even if the Andromedans are real. Even if I say one being that's identified themselves to me as Andromedan is real. What do we have going on here, kids? What do we have going on here? We're throwing a party in my room? I almost want to put on my white shirt today. I try not to be too self-conscious, but I worry sometimes that people infer too much meaning on my clothing choices. And how are we all strong with black magic because I'm wearing a black shirt, or I have black, or there's black cabinets on light here, or is there black magic in all of our eyes? Is that what they say? So, well, the Indian Intelligence Bureau will not respect anybody in the intelligence that they say if they say that time travel is not real. With apologies, if they say that there's no such thing as time travel, they won't respect that intelligence, even if they can respect something else the person said. With apologies. So, oh, that's right. I think what the Andromedans told me is they were working on xenorelations today with the mantis aquatic hybrid beings that have been associated with other contractees. So I'll get a link to in the description on this video. And so I spent a lot of time having extraterrestrial contact this week. I've been coming to a synthesis between the different extraterrestrial contactees that have been contacting me about the right plan for my future with me. And I you know, what Narami seemed to be trying to tell me right now is that Earth religious leaders are not always contacted directly by extraterrestrials, and sometimes extraterrestrials avoid them because Earth religious leaders are scary. And it's scary what people are going to do about the contact or infer about the contact to them. And that's why Narami don't contact the Pope, apparently. Because somebody organizes their entire day around the Pope or something. And I don't think all of us have to organize our entire day around the Pope because somebody else organizes their entire day around the Pope. So it was really good to get outside today. I'm grateful that I live in a verdant forest. I'm grateful that I live in a lush forest. Which is abundant. I mean, it feels like it's more abundant in fresh oxygen than I want to say cities that don't have like a forest in them that I visited. I feel like there's more fresh air here in Portland, Oregon. I'm sorry. I don't know if I should change future videos to have the background where you can see the street and kind of the forest out near me. Like, thankfully, it's not such a busy street. Maybe spirited science mixing is another video. Maybe it's another video entirely because I'm almost at 10 minutes here, and I just wanted to do one brief weekly contact report. Yeah, and I'm sorry about the beings who are associated with the star of the Pleiades off it also. I'm sensing a being here telepathically that's in one audience that's termed Plajaran. And so when people want to say that all spirit science is whack, that it's all just hallucinations, I just go, no. I mean, I'm not privy to the details of the science. I'm not going to pretend to be in the know about it. And there's got to be something about it that's real, because people have these cognitive experiences where their psychic perception is of a spiritual being, and you know, once you're just calling that all fake, once you're just calling that all hallucinations, that's immature. That's immature just to call that all hallucinations and not just go to yourself, okay, well, that person's experience is real to them, you know, and they really had that perceptual impression of psychic phenomenon. that evolve what seem to be a spiritual presence to them. And that's real to people. And I just mentioned that because of the long association of one of these audiences with atheists, and here we are about the phrase "prove it," improving it. So when people want to thwart spiritual science from evidencing it, from going, well, I just created more empirical evidence with science of spirit, I have to go, no. Why isn't that a legitimate pursuit of time? Because once you form a testable hypothesis and find a way to test it, why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you just because it involves spiritual research? Apparently that could turn into like a long lecture series by myself, so I don't know. I also just wanted to do a weekly contact report to say that I'm okay. I've had an anomalous life experience that I've got into in my other videos. And I'm not so worried about it. And long story short is a lot of people in the public have access to synthetic telepathy technology. Something like what I imagine is going to replace Neuralink when it's finally authorized. I'm trying to remember. I think it was it like FDA authorization? I think they needed FDA authorization, if I'm not mistaken, about Neuralink. And I sense this really pesky poltergeist, so I gotta wrap it up. Right? I gotta start doing. Like, I might have to start doing like psychic self-defense, like spirit warrior stuff. Where I go, oh yeah, and I chase the damn thing out of here. Which I attracted into my life through my online work, and not a spirit. I summon my own as a spirit summoner. Yeah, and I must. And so contacting extraterrestrials can be really good if you feel like you've been exposed to misuse of synthetic telepathy technology. If you feel like synthetic telepathy technology has been misused on you, activating with non-human personnel can be a really good idea. Sometimes people in these situations get in the habit of contacting like government agencies or government entities, and you might just want to enter to whatever government entity you're contacting. I'd like to activate with non-human personnel. And I would definitely say that's advisable. And insiders and people in the know who've been briefed on this kind of technology and other topics have claimed that there's non-human personnel in facilities like Groom Lake. The extraterrestrials are working side by side with resurface humans in peace, trying to help advance human technology to the point where, what they've illustrated to me in telepathic contacts or paratelepathic contacts is that industry be fundamentally transformed. And so infrastructure would have to be changed because I was just thinking about quantum teleportation about it, because I live within about 10 miles of my local airport, and I was thinking, if the teleport within 10 miles, there's still kind of a need for airports to get across the sea. Although when that technology advances fundamentally to the that a person could teleport from one continent to another, that's such a change in society, and obviously society would have to really strictly regulate access to that kind of technology with what's going on with different nations. I don't want to say there's strategic imperatives with what's going on with different nations there. Is foremost on my mind. So it's good to do a contact report. YouTube just wanted to do a contact report saying I'm fine, I'm doing okay. I wanted to check in saying doing okay. And just say I've had ongoing Narami contact this week, Mantis Aquatic Hybrid contact this week, Andromeda and with the beings commonly termed Andromeda. And it's been good today to see, I'm sorry I can't get photographs. Or even like anomalous photographs with, let's say, skeptics will say, skeptics with the capital S will say, like, why hoax this with something like Photoshop? Look what a clever hoaxer he is, taking the alien's actual like thumbprint off their strangely sized thumb, and look how many hours he spent on this elaborate hoax. They'll say something like that, and I'll go, no. which almost must be which almost makes me want to wrap up with something about George Adamski. I don't know if I should provide a link about George Adamski in the description, because Adamski type UFOs are called seem real to me, even if they're not on the timeline at all times. I could have swore I thought I saw one once in the timeline. And with his alleged trip to the moon, I'm not worried about it, because one of these ETs is so advanced. I'm certain that one of these extraterrestrials is so advanced that they could translocate right to the moon from where I am. They could translocate hundreds. They should be able to translocate hundreds of miles away. And so I won't say I've taken a literal trip to the moon, but I know the moon is right here with us, and the moon is not going to come crashing down on Earth tomorrow at this rate. I just want to say peace out for now. And Adamski type UFOs are not a hoax. It's just if I was going to say, if you thought you saw an Adamski type UFO, just don't be afraid. If there seemed to be a human occupant, just don't be afraid of them. I've experienced them as universally. I've experienced them as peaceful toward me, as not to be like a worrisome psychic presence in my life, and they seem completely real, like they're right there in another timeline with apologies to people who try not to believe in time travel. So peace out, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in.